Use just these two words, and she'll begin to crave you. Female psychology revealed. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right, only for the connection to suddenly go cold out of nowhere, understand that it isn't necessarily your fault. The problem is that nobody ever taught you how the female brain actually processes attraction. We women evolved with an incredibly sensitive social radar. We notice micro-expressions, changes in tone, and pauses during a conversation faster than any conscious thought can process them. Many men struggle because they are performing. They follow mental scripts and constantly try to control the impression they're making. A woman's nervous system can sense that performance as a subtle threat, not something dangerous, necessarily, but something that feels untrustworthy. And this is exactly where the idea of emotional congruence comes into play. When what you say is completely aligned with who you genuinely are, that's when the real magic happens. Before we get into these two words, if what I've said so far has already given you that aha moment, go ahead and hit the like button below. It lets me know that you're ready to explore this topic on a deeper level. The first word you need to master is interesting. But don't use it as an empty compliment or simply as a way to fill an awkward silence. Use it as an anchor for your presence. Imagine a woman tells you something unusual or shares an opinion that you don't completely agree with. Most men will respond in one of two ways. They either agree immediately because they want to avoid conflict, or they change the subject and start talking about themselves. Both behaviors reveal insecurity. A man who is grounded in his own psychology approaches the situation differently. He pauses, looks her directly in the eyes with genuine curiosity, and says, "That's interesting. Tell me more about that." Do you know why that is so powerful? Because it communicates three subconscious things at the same time. First, it tells her that you aren't threatened by her perspective. Second, it shows that you have your own center and are capable of holding her opinion alongside your own. And third, it demonstrates that you're actually present, engaged, and paying attention. Research by Dr. Arthur Aron suggests that sustained curiosity is one of the strongest mechanisms for creating connection. When a woman feels genuinely interesting to a man, not because he's trying to impress or please her, but because he is truly listening, her brain can release dopamine and oxytocin. She begins to associate you with that emotional experience of feeling seen and understood. While most people are trying desperately to appear impressive, the magnetic man chooses to become interested. It's precisely this level of depth and these subconscious triggers that I explore in my full guide, Attraction Secrets. In there, we go far beyond the obvious and show you how to transform your presence into something that becomes incredibly difficult to ignore. Now, let's move on to the second word, and I'm willing to bet you didn't expect this one. The word is no. But this isn't an aggressive, rude, or cold no, it's a calm, clear no, delivered without hesitation. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a man tell an attractive woman no without wavering, without feeling the need to over-explain himself, and without softening the word so much that it completely lost its meaning? Most men, when they become attracted to someone, turn into yes men. They agree with everything. They change their plans, their opinions, and sometimes even their values simply to maintain her approval. And here's the secret. That doesn't create attraction. It does the exact opposite. The female attraction system is highly sensitive to men who possess a stable sense of identity. When you calmly say no, whether you're declining an unreasonable request or simply disagreeing with an idea, you communicate a very rare signal. You're showing her that you don't need her approval in order to feel good about yourself. Psychologists refer to this as non-reactive confidence. It is one of the foundations of masculine presence. I remember the story of one of my clients, Marcus. He's 52. He isn't wealthy, and he doesn't have the physique of an athlete, but he has a remarkably calm way of carrying himself. One younger colleague once asked him how he managed to attract so many women. Marcus simply smiled and said that he had stopped performing and started noticing. On one occasion, a woman he was dating asked him to cancel all of his weekend plans for a last-minute trip she had organized. Marcus calmly responded, "I can't this weekend." I've had this planned for a month. Let's plan something for next week. She pushed back. He simply smiled and repeated, I understand, but no. This weekend doesn't work for me. Instead of becoming angry, she looked at him with a deep level of respect. Because a man who can say no, especially in a situation where saying yes would be easier, is a man who can be trusted. These two words, interesting and no, aren't manipulation techniques. They are reflections of an internal state of security. Interesting says that you are secure enough to remain curious. No says that you are secure enough to maintain boundaries. Together, they create the psychological profile behind what women often describe as one of the most attractive qualities in a man, authenticity. And you don't have to wait until you're 50 to develop this quality. You can begin today. Practice genuine curiosity during your next conversation. Practice your boundaries in simple, everyday situations. Tell a friend no when you genuinely don't want to do something, without giving 1,000 explanations or trying to justify every detail. Boundaries aren't walls. They are the architecture of your self-love. If this video changed the way you think about social dynamics, comment below and tell me which of these two words you feel you need to practice more. Interesting or no?